Hello everyone, my name is Avogadro'S and you are welcome to Oxchem Academy. Now if you are new to my channel, kindly hit the subscription button below. Also like, share and of course avail yourself to the lessons so as not to be left behind. Welcome back. So in today's lesson, we're going to be treating a very important topic titled Avogadro's number, or rather calculations under Avogadro's number. Now in our previous lessons, we'll be learning how to calculate Boyle's law, Charles' law, general gas law, Gay-Lussac's law. If you are yet to watch those lessons, kindly check them out in my channel. It's titled Calculations under Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, and general gas law. Okay, but that said, so in today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to calculate or solve problems under Avogadro's number. But first things first, we all know that matter is composed of particles. Okay, so when we say particles, we are referring to atoms, ions, molecules. Now, these particles are so small and so numerous that they cannot be counted. Okay, so they cannot be humanly counted, and because of this, the scientists or Avogadro decided to come up with a number or a constant used to classify a certain or group rather a certain amount of particles for easy counting. Now, what do I mean by this? Let me give an example. When we say a dozen, we know that we're referring to 12. When we say a century, we know that we're referring to 100. So you see these classifications. So for example, if I go to the market and I say, oh, I want to buy a crate of egg, I'm talking about what? 30. Do you understand? If I say I want to buy 2 crates of eggs, I'm talking about what? 60 eggs. So you see, it makes counting a whole lot easier. So that is the concept of Avogadro's number, or rather Avogadro's constant. So these are some problems on the board we're going to be solving under this. So let's take the first question. The first question on the board is, how many moles of iron are there in 112 grams of iron? So how many moles of iron are there in 112 grams of iron? And we're given the mass number of iron as what? 56. Like as I've earlier told you guys, please learn your mass numbers. It's not every time that you'll be giving this in a bracket, so be familiar with your mass numbers. Okay, so solution, how do we solve this question? Now, when I talked about Avogadro's number, I said it is used to classify a group of particles. So that is to say that 1 mole is equal to what? Avogadro's number. Okay, so if 1 mole is equal to Avogadro's number, to solve this question, we have to know what 1 mole is. Now, we're given the mass number of iron, and remember, mass is what in gram. So that is what? 1 mole. So this 56 represents 1 mole of iron. So that's why I wrote 1 mole is equal to what? 56 gram. Now, if 1 mole is equal to 56 gram, the question says, how many moles are there in 112 gram? Do you understand? So to get how many, so it's like me saying, if 12 eggs are in a crate, how many crates are in 60 eggs? You simply divide what? 12 by 60. Or if I say, if 12 eggs are in a crate, how many eggs are in 4 crates? You simply multiply 4 by 12. I don't know if you understand. So that is the same concept here. So if we have 1 mole, which is 56 grams, how many are there in 112 grams? So it's simply to divide 112 by 56 grams, and then you get your 2 moles of iron. So our answer must be in moles because the question said how many moles. I hope you understand. So that is the answer. 2 moles of iron. It's that simple. So the next question says, how many molecules are there in 3.2 grams of SO2? So how many molecules are there in 3.2 grams of SO2? We're given the mass numbers of oxygen and sulfur. So how do we solve for this? First things first, you have to calculate. Now, in your previous question, iron was just a simple element, okay? And so we had the mass number. But for this one, we have a compound here. So SO2, we have to now calculate the relative molecular mass of what? SO2. So how do we calculate the relative molecular mass? By adding up the mass numbers of the elements present in this compound. So that is what we did here. So sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16, but there's a 2 attached to it. So you're going to be multiplying 16 by these 2. And when you total that up, what you have is 64 grams. So that is to say 1 mole is equal to what? 64 grams. So now that we know that 1 mole is equal to 64 grams, Then we can now go back to the question. The question now says, how many molecules are now there in what? 3.2 grams. So we simply say 64 grams. Remember, 64 grams is 1 mole, and 1 mole is what? Avogadro's number, or Avogadro's constant, which is our 6.02 times 10 to the power 23. So 1 mole, which is 64 grams, is equal to what? Avogadro's number. So therefore, to get how many is in 3.2 grams, 3.2 grams is equal to what? Question mark. So you're going to cross multiply. So you simply say 3.2 grams times 6.02 times 10 to the power 23 all over what? 64. I hope you understand. Then when you use your calculator, you get your answer. So you get 0.3012 times 10 to the power 23, or better yet, you can leave it as this: 3.012 times 10 to the power 22 molecules. Your answer is a molecule because the question said how many molecules. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm trying to explain. So please, before I move to the second question, the third question, in our usual fashion, attempt to solve. If you get it, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you're having difficulty solving, also let me know in the comment section below. So the third question: how many atoms are there in 4.0 grams of carbon? How many atoms are there in 4.0 grams of carbon? And we're given that carbon is what? 12. Okay, so that's the mass number of carbon. So remember, we said 1 mole is equal to Avogadro's number, and 1 mole is what? 12 grams. So 12 grams is equal to what? Avogadro's number. So how many is in 4.0 grams? So 4.0 grams is equal to what? Question mark. This is what we're looking for. So you simply cross multiply. If 12 grams is Avogadro's number, 4.0 grams is what? Then you cross multiply. So 4.0 times what? Avogadro's number divided by 12. And then you have your answer. And your answer will be in atoms because the question says how many atoms. In calculating or solving problems with Avogadro's law, your units are very important. Okay? So how many of us got that question? Give me a thumbs up in the comment section below. So number 4. How many molecules are there in 4.0 moles of glucose? So how many molecules are there in 4.0 moles of glucose? This is 1 mole. So remember, 1 mole is equal to what? Avogadro's constant. So how many will be in 4.0 moles? So 4.0 is equal to what? Question mark. We don't know. So you simply cross multiply. So 4.0 times Avogadro's number divided by 1, which is multiplication. And then you have your answer. So you're going to have 24.08 times 10 to the power 23, and you can simply just break it down to 2.41 times 10 raised to the power 24 molecules. And our answer is a molecule because the question says how many molecules. So you can see that these calculations are not difficult at all. What you require is practice and more practice under your gas law calculations. So like I earlier said, if you have any issues concerning what I've taught or my previous videos, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you're yet to subscribe, if you're yet to like our page, please kindly do so. Till next class, I remain your tutor, Ogenete Jiromamogo. Have a wonderful day.